Taylor Swift is a link builder. There were rumors that she would get engaged. Our client said, let's give them a free wedding venue. And then we got them 50 links. That's digital PR.
Managing multiple clients or large websites? Automate your SEO with Alley AI. Start your free trial now.
Wix Studio, one end-to-end web creation platform for your agency to deliver exceptional work with absolute efficiency.
Thanks everyone, very nice to be here. We've got the great job of talking about the future of advertising, which means that we can pretty much say anything and we won't be accountable for it later down the line, which is a good gig. I'm Sam Holt, so I manage Performics. Performics invests around $1 billion every year in digital marketing. We have about 800 staff. So the future of advertising is very much on my mind every day, and actually at night time quite often as well. Polly works for a small company called Meta. Meta may or may not have a huge impact on the future of advertising. So we're going to go through 20-minute presentation. I'm going to talk a little bit more about a perspective from the agency world, agency and advertiser world, and Polly naturally is going to talk more from the publisher and platform space and how they're viewing the future. So to dig in, and I think before we talk about the future, it's always important to talk about the context in which we find ourselves. So more stats, please don't hate or ask me where they came from. But in this 20-minute presentation, there will be 15,000 hours of content uploaded to the web. A staggering number. There will be over £240 million spent just in the 20 minutes in e-commerce on the web. And this number is absolutely astronomical, but it will be 28 billion digital ads will be served just in the 20 minutes that we're talking to. So huge scale of data. You think about the scale of signals that leaves behind, it's actually quite difficult to imagine. And it's quite difficult for advertisers and agencies actually to manage that and make decisions, control it, measure it. Coupled with the huge scale of data, you've got some other industry trends that are shaping the future of advertising. The one on the represented by the padlock, privacy-centric technology. So third-party cookies or not, did you give consent or not? Those kind of things are really impacting the way that digital advertising works. The other thing is that you're seeing quite a lot of what would traditional media channels be bought programmatically. So you're finding TV, out of home, all of those things that used to be kind of more linear and traditional in nature, leaving behind digital signals on the web, which can be used for advertising. And then finally, you've got a huge proliferation of content platforms, more traditional ones around video, so Netflix, Disney, TV Plus, etc. Huge amount of content available. But then also more recently in retail media. So things like Tesco, Boots, another area where you can buy ads and target consumers. So if you take the scale of the numbers that I showed you on the first chart and you add it to some of the complexity that now exists in the industry around some of these trends, the simple task, or what used to be the simple task of understanding where your consumers are, targeting them, talking to them in a personalized way has become very complex. And a lot of companies, agencies, advertisers, and Meta, not least, are looking to AI to solve some of those challenges about the vast data.
So Meta, we invested billions of dollars in AI infrastructure, in terms of Llama 3, and also the huge, the AI engineering that powers our ad platform. But AI is not new. For most of our history, AI has been core to Meta's platform and our development. We've got 4 billion users, or nearly 4 billion users use our platform. Nearly 3 billion of them use it every single day. Every single person, every single login, every single feed is completely unique. In fact, our chief AI scientist, Yann LeCun, famously said, without AI, Meta would crumble. So Many processes and features across our platforms, whether it's internal and external, heavily depend on AI. We can bucket our investments to 3 different areas. One's infrastructure, so creating new, more advanced models. Secondly, modeling itself to provide more accurate predictions, to serve up relevant content, relevant ads to those billions of people using our platforms. And thirdly, on experiences and tools that enable advertisers to optimize their campaigns to higher value outcomes. We've also built an AI research supercluster, which is one of the fastest AI computers in the world. And this enables us to build new models, new sophisticated models, taking, for example, Meta Lattice, our ads ranking architecture, that has the ability to predict an ad's performance based across a variety of data sets and optimization goals. And then on the creative front, Omar, don't hate on me. We are seeing some early results with our Gen AI for ad creative, thinking things like text generation, background generation, and image expansion. And 1 million advertisers are using those on a monthly basis. So as you can see, as a platform, we're making huge advancements in AI, and it's completely underpinning our ads ecosystem.
It's not just the big platforms that are investing a huge amount of money in AI. I think there's something like venture capitalist kind of investment is around 50 million per day. And certainly in the advertiser and agency world, we're also investing quite a lot. And the way that we've broken it down as an agency is kind of 3 buckets of investment into AI. The first is custom AI. So that's just having teams available in the organization that can build custom AI tools and technology, and they can be anything from a forecasting tool for a client to an internal searching documents and being able to create very fast knowledge sharing. The second area that we've invested in is in enterprise AI. So many of you in your own organizations will probably use something like Microsoft or Copilot. We've built something called Marcel, which is essentially a productivity tool. We want to be able to, the whole organization, to share information very quickly, and essentially Marcel is an assistant that's available to every individual in the company. And then finally, working with the large models that exist out there today, so Gemini with Google, Llama with Meta, and others like ChatGPT, making sure that we understand those and that we actually make them accessible to people in our organization is really important.
But we shouldn't think of AI either as the central driver of change or the sole answer to responding to that change. AI is a utility, and like electricity, it can be used by people to accelerate and scale what they're already seeking to achieve. And that appears on both sides, from both the user perspective and also from the advertiser side of the equation. Decision makers within brands can decide how they want to communicate, and users can decide what they do and don't want to use, and what they do and don't want to pay attention to. So when we're thinking about the future of advertising, it's really important for us to think about the future for platforms, partners, for advertisers and agencies, and for users themselves.
And one of the things that I think is most important about users and AI is around delegation of tasks. So most people, when they think of it in their own lives, and consumers, using the web, will look to delegate tasks using AI. And a nice way to kind of frame this is to look at voice assistants. So voice assistants, most people, there was a big kind of run for them, 2016. Most people started buying Alexas and things like that, but there was quite a big drop off. And that's because voice assistants were very good at voice, but terrible at being assistants. They actually weren't that helpful. And so you kind of see this plateau of penetration of voice assistants. But I think what we'll see with the now kind of onslaught of AI models is that things become much better at being assistants. So whether the entry point is voice or visual or search, you'll find that these things are now being powered by much more powerful assistants that can learn and that can generate more ideas. If you bring it closer to home, I think search is probably one of the biggest places where users may well delegate that task to AI. So the function of manually searching for things, I think over time will go away, and that has profound impact on the future of advertising. So much money is spent at the bottom of the funnel on what for a consumer is probably a low value task. So we'll see a big shift in this space in the future.
So when you think about publishers and platforms, especially at Meta, it's all about AI driving automation to generate better performance for our advertisers. Digital data has become too fast, too huge, too high in volume for us to rely on manual adjustments and techniques that we've sort of relied on in the past. And we want to make it easier for advertisers to be able to effectively, for brands to effectively advertise across our platforms. And so we obsess around two concepts to help our partners take advantage of this sort of growth in AI, in this AI growth. And that's fuel and freedom. Essentially, for any AI tool, we need to give it the right fuel to let it do the task at hand. So whether that's creative data, other quality inputs, the right objective, and then the freedom to use that information and be able to perform the task to deliver better results. Essentially, freedom means removing constraints and letting AI do some of the legwork for you to drive better results. So nearly all of our advertisers are now using our AI-powered products. Last year, we did a study with publicists to understand the performance of Advantage Plus shopping campaigns. And this study showed that on average, generally, advertisers using ASC saw better campaign performance and better results. Very, very much aligned with a recent Meta study that saw advertisers using ASC are generally seeing around 22% increase in return of ad spend. Similarly, over on the creative side, those million users that have been trying out and testing some of our Gen AI for ad creative are seeing much better performance across their campaigns. However, I think the key for advertisers is going to be in ensuring that their brand is strengthened and not eroded by AI and by this automation. The principles of performance marketing on our platform haven't changed. However, AI is certainly supercharging that performance, and it's going to be key for advertisers who are adjusting their approach. As I said, the data, the creative, those other high-quality inputs. However, importantly, giving the AI the freedom to do some of the legwork are gaining huge efficiencies.
So yeah, if you think about users, more delegation of tasks, and you think about the large platforms, they're definitely going down the more automation route. For agencies, I think it's more about orchestration. So agencies have typically been built on a number of people and paid for based on the time they spend buying media, essentially. I think you'll find that the agency model shifts more to orchestrating. So the value is moved from buying media or activating media to orchestrating it. And I think organizationally, both within our business, but probably an advertiser side as well, you'll see a little bit more of a breaking down of the silos between creative and production and media and marketing, as well as user experience. So I think you'll find those three divisions in a business, which have historically been fairly separate, come a lot closer. It's kind of gone full circle to the full service agency again. And that creates quite a lot of opportunity, I think, and that's being enabled largely by AI. I think the second thing is around measurement for agencies, or at least I firmly believe that the shift in measurement that's happened, I think, third-party cookies or the on-off nature of whether they were going to exist or not prompted a lot of agencies and advertisers to think about their measurement models. And you'll find that this kind of more future-facing approach, which relies a lot less on kind of last click and cookies and more on things like regression-based analysis, will become essential in understanding incrementality. So agencies will be less siloed and more focused on delivering incrementality for their advertisers, powered by some of the open source models that both Google and Meta have built and given access to agencies to use.
So it's clear that AI is already having a huge impact and playing a crucial role in performance marketing today. I think it's impossible to predict the future, but Sam and I see incredible opportunities for AI. I'm really excited, super excited about LLMs and how they are actually going to change the way in which brands and consumers are interacting. Meta AI, I think, for any of you that saw Connect last week, Meta AI is on track to being one of the most used one of the most used AI assistants in the world by the end of this year. And I'm also fascinated by how we're introducing them into our consumer-facing technologies, such as our Ray-Ban Meta glasses. Messaging for me is completely fascinating. In Brazil, we're seeing a huge amount of e-commerce happening through WhatsApp. And again, conversational AI is going to transform the way in which businesses are able to speak to their consumers. That is a whole other presentation. I like to think of it. Like to think of us entering the sort of fourth industrial revolution. AI will drive a profound behaviour change like nothing we've seen before. However, it's no longer in our rearview mirror, and it's key for marketers, for all of us, to really keep track on those trends on the horizon and adapt our organisations to win.
I think for an agency, certainly on this diagram, I think the value delivery in the kind of supply chain, I guess, of advertising will shift from these channels and more into this layer, which is kind of the orchestration layer across these things. But I think I'd leave you with two things that I think will be the biggest shift, and the thing that I'm focused on at the moment. One is a talent shift. So certainly, like I say, a large part of our organisation today, we have a lot of buyers, in-platform buyers, and I think that will change. The skill sets will need to change. So definitely on the hard skills, we're definitely looking to recruit more data scientists, more engineering, but also recruit for something which is quite difficult to recruit for, but that's critical thinking. Actually, it's a really undervalued skill that exists, and it's people that are actually able to understand problems, articulate problems, talk to the board or talk to the overall organisation about those problems, which they want to point AI at. I think without that critical thinking skill in your talent, all of this will be quite difficult for you actually to transform your businesses. And the second thing that this enables, I think, is new business models. So typically agencies charge for time in their various kind of ways, but ultimately it's time. I think this enables us with smarter measurement and being able to control more of the levers of performance to offer much more outcomes-based models to clients, even incremental value, and taking a share of the incremental sales you drive, as opposed to just being a functional exchange around time and services. But thank you very much. It's been great to talk to you. I think we've got time for questions, have we? I don't know. Sorry, I've taken his job. I've said something I shouldn't have. Thank you very much.
Monthly reporting making you want to shove sharp things up your nose? Try Dragon Metrics, the all-in-one SEO software with mind-blowing reporting tools.